Hello everybody, good morning to one and all. So I'm Kranth and I'll be teaching you today on fundamentals of computers. Yes, we will be learning about fundamentals of computers and today we'll be learning more about the fundamentals of computers. So when I speak about the fundamentals of computers, yesterday we were been learning about the Microsoft. Yes, we were been learning about the operation systems and we were been going very deep into what are the operating systems and how and what kind of operating systems were there. And yes, we were being little gone deep into understanding the operating systems. So today we are going to look at the interface, that is, I'll tell you, don't worry about it. So before we go ahead with the subject, I just want you to remember what kind of things that we were been learning. So as we know, we were been learning about the fundamentals of computers, the inputs and outputs of the computers. So when I speak about the inputs and outputs of the computer, the only thing that we just have to remember is what are we using as of now, or which generation are we into, or which accumulation we are into it. So all these just will provide you the basic information about where we actually are and where we stand. So today we are going to go little deep into the MS, yes, Windows. And when I say MS Windows, what is MS Windows and what is that we are going to learn today? So I am going to go a little deep today in making you understand the interface of the operating system and how exactly the operating system have the interface as. Yes, we were been learning about the interface yesterday. I was been telling you about the interface, but today we are going to go a little deep in understanding how and what are the basic inputs and outputs of the interfaces. All right, so let us see the slide once again. So when I say introduction to computer, the first thing we have is MS Windows. Yes, Microsoft Windows, or simply Windows is a meta family of graphical operating systems developed, marketed and sold by Microsoft. It consists of several families of operating systems, each of which cater to a certain sector of the computing industry, with the OS typically associated with IBM PC, compatible architecture. Active Windows families include Windows NT and Windows Embedded. These may encompass subfamilies, example Windows Embedded Compact, Windows CE or Windows Server. Defunct Windows families include Windows 9X, Windows Mobile, and Windows Phone. So we are here learning about the Microsoft Windows, or simply I can just tell you it's a basically operating graphical operating system where any interface you open, if you install Windows 10, Windows 8, Windows 7, obviously you can find the interface of the Windows, isn't it? So yes, today we will be learning about the most of MS Windows that I have mentioned here. Yes. We have Windows Embedded Compact or Windows Server, and Windows families include Windows 9X, Windows Mobile and Windows Phone. So what all does the Windows have? That is, you have phones, you have 9X, you have Windows Mobiles and Windows Phone. We have so many things that we have into the Windows. Yes. So this is a kind of operating system, or it is a particular certain sector that is operated by the OS, typically associated with IBM PC, compatible architecture. So this is all about Windows. When I introduce you to the Windows, so this is what you just have to remember. Windows is something called as a certain OS infrastructure, which plays a major role in using the interface of the operating system. Whatever operating system you use, yes, Windows will make sure, or Windows is a certain operating system or architecture, you can say, basically included in the MS Windows. So MS Windows is one of the internal interfaces of operating systems, where you have in Windows you have phones, you have mobiles, you have servers, you have operating systems, interfaces, and so many things. We can see Windows everywhere nowadays. Yes. So now I just want you to get introduced to deeper of the Windows. So, if you can see here, we have the slide where this is a basic interface how it looks like. I think everybody know it. We have MS Windows, we have Windows 10 interface as of now where we have seen it. The Windows logo is a foreshuttered Windows symbol that we can find once we install the Windows into our computers. If you can remember, when we are in school, we usually have gone through the Windows 2000 or 2001 or 2002. We call it as XP in fact. So yes, so all these actually are Windows, I mean the packages of Windows, and the Windows have been updating, and now the current generation is using Windows 10. So now let me show you the interface of the Windows. So if you can just see the slide, we have Windows. If you can see, we have the start button. Once we put up the start button, you have the Windows buttons coming up here. If you can see, you have the applications displaying up here, and we have kind of applications that have been inbuilt in your computer from the OS. And this is how the tab look like. Once you press the Windows, you can get a few informations from Windows and you can just type it. All right. So now let me show you or give you a basic example of how Windows look like. So if you can see here, we have the desktop. So this is the desktop, and we have the Windows symbol towards the left side of the corner. Once you hit it, you find the things that you can explore towards your left side and the things that are basically called as widgets on the right side of it. That means it gives you a pure glance of the look on what exactly you want to look like. For example, you have Chrome Music, you have movies and TV, you have Xbox, you have Microsoft games, you can go to Office directly, you can use your phone computer, you have the display of the weather forecast here, and you have Internet Explorer, and then you have photos. Yes, the recent glance of what you exactly look alike. So here we have something that we can find. If you type something here, you can directly get that onto the thing. So this is the basic interface of Windows 10, if you can see. So here is my computer, here is the folder of the desktop that I have mentioned, and all of the files of the desktop will be put into it, and this is a recycle bin. About the recycle bin, I'll tell you later. So this is the basic desktop and the interface, and if you can see here, we have the commonly most used applications, and then we have the power, and then we have the sound mode, and then we have the display, and this is called the Windows tab. So before I go ahead and say about all this, so this is a basic desktop. If you can see, we have the basic desktop, and in the desktop you can find this, and this is called Windows 10, and this is the start button. If you can see here, we have the Windows symbol. So this is the Windows tab. So now I think everybody have understood how exactly this look like. So this is the basic tab that you have to remember whenever I speak about the Windows and its design. So now let me show you the next interface of the MS Windows. Let us see here. Microsoft introduced an operating environment named Windows on November 20th, 1985. As a graphical operating system, shell for MS-DOS in response to the growing interest in graphical user interfaces, GUIs. Microsoft Windows came to dominate the world's personal computer (PC) market with over 90% market share, overtaking Mac OS, which had been introduced in 1984. As of September 2016, the most recent version of Windows for PCs, tablets, smartphones, and embedded devices is Windows 10. The most recent versions of server computer is Windows Server 2016. A specialized version of Windows runs on the Xbox One video game console. So this is another introduction of MS Windows and how it just got introduced. So this is the history of the Windows 10, and if you can see, this have hit the market with over 90% market. This is amazing to listen, isn't it? So MS Office and MS Windows, if you can see, we have MS Office included in the MS Windows. So MS Windows is nothing but Microsoft Windows. This is a constant spectrum of the operating system. So this is what, when I say the introduction to MS Windows is. So MS Windows have been hitting the market from so many days, and it's been used by almost everybody in the market right now. If you can see, obviously you won't be having Mac OS in your normal computer, isn't it? So for the Mac OS, you just have to go and buy an Apple product, right? But if you can see Windows, yes, Windows can be installed everywhere, and it can be used as an interface anytime, anywhere, in any computer, in any device. So this is the importance of the Windows 10, and Windows 10 and MS Windows have been basically noted as the most used interface from the whole world. So if you can see, there is 90% market which was being hit by the MS Windows. That means it is the most used interface by all the people. All right. So now let me take you with the next slide. So let us see the market, how exactly and how much is this being used. The first thing is Windows 7, which have hit the market so badly that, you know, almost half, or I think it's like 7.52, you know, if you can see, 52%, 52.34% Windows 7 is being used in the market, because that is very used and it has been highlighted by everybody. And then we have Windows 10, almost 12%, which is being used by the whole world. Windows XP, 11%. Windows 8, 9%. Mac OS, you have 3% people using it. Windows 8, the other Windows is 8.1 and this is Windows 8. Almost 2% are using it. Mac OS X 10 to 10 version, 2% has been used. And others, when I say others, you have Linux, you have Ubuntu, etc. and etc. All these are being used as a 5% in the market. So this is a graph of how much market is being hit by the Windows, that is MS Windows. So if you can see, almost half of the entire graph is being covered by the Windows 7, and we have Windows 10 which is being highly used too. And then we have Windows 8 also, which is being used in the market, and then we have Mac, which has been hitting the market too. So this is the most important thing that you have to remember when I speak about the Windows and its graph. So Windows graph is being highly concentrated right now in the market, and it is being most probably used by each and every individual, and comparatively than 10 and 8, we have Windows 7, where the interface is very easy to use, and they have so much interface compatible for each and every individual that they use the computer. So this is what you just have to remember when I speak about the Windows and the Microsoft. So remember that this is the most important thing that you have to calculate whenever I say about the Windows and its configuration. So now let me take you with the next slide. So now let me show you, as I have said you, what is MS Windows? Basically it is an interface, as I have said you. Now let me give you a basic example. We have icons here, if you can see here, we have all the set of icons here in the left side. If you can see, I have mentioned each and everything that is been already put in the desktop. So these are called as icons. In fact, the logo of the application are called icons. And as I have said you, this is a desktop. Once you can see the Windows symbol, or the design desktop that we have is called the desktop. That means it is a basic startup of the interface. And then we have start button here. If you can see, we have start button here, and then we have taskbar, which is mentioned here, and then we have notification area. So this is the basic interface of the MS Windows. So notification area is nothing but we have something put in. For example, if you plug in the USB, or if you plug in any pen drive, if you plug in any of the devices to your computer, this is a place where you get the notifications. So this is called as notifications area, and you have the power power time display over here, and then this is the start button, as I have already shown you, and this is the taskbar. So you just have to remember the taskbar is the most important thing that you have to remember when I speak about what is MS Windows. MS Windows is a basically interface that will be used by any of the OS, and to make an OS interface more attractive and advanced, this MS Windows is being used. And this is the most important thing. So now let me brief you about what is a desktop, what is taskbar, what is notification bar, what is in deep of the interface. So let us see now. We have mentioned as desktop. After you have started the computer, the area you are looking at is called the desktop. The desktop is usually different from one computer to another. This is because some items get added as new programs are installed on a computer, and the other items get deleted at will. Eventually, you will know how to change the way your desktop looks. The Microsoft Windows desktop is made of various parts. From the upper left to the lower left side of the screen, there are small pictures or images called icons. I have already mentioned and showed you. Each one is used to make the computer do something. Here is an example. So if you can see here, we have an example. So this is an example from the left. If you can see this, the entire thing is a desktop. We have the taskbar, we have the icons. As I have said you have, once you start the computer, the area you are looking at is called the desktop. I mean, once the system gets switched on, the first display that you see on your monitor is a desktop, that we call it as. The desktop is usually different from one computer to another. This is because some items get added as new programs are installed on a computer, because I might use different. See, I'll tell you one thing. When you go for a company or when you work in a company, your desktops will be totally different because it is all used by a server. But when I say when you go to the PC, I mean your personal computer, obviously your personal computer will have a different interface, because you install different kinds of applications, different kind of interfaces, you keep modifying it, you keep modifying it, and you keep customizing your desktop. So each and every desktop will have their own look. For example, I might keep a different wallpaper, you people might keep another desktop, So all that you just have to remember is each person will have their own customized desktop. So never ever come into a conclusion that every computer or every interface of the operating system will be the same. Because it just depends on the way we operate our own desktop. So always remember, the desktop is being actually used by the different kind of people, and it can be customized, and there are different kinds of operating systems. It depends upon the personalization of your computer. This is what I just want to tell you. So now let me show you what is actually the desktop and how it's actually being used. So if you can see, we have the desktop out in front of us, where if I have to mention, these are the icons of the desktop, and the pointer which I am moving is the cursor, and the entire screen what you can see is called as the desktop. The first image that you can find in the entire monitor is something what we call it as desktop. And here we have, you know, the taskbar, which we can customize the taskbar. You can say, see if you can lock the taskbar, or you know, you can go for the properties, you can, you know, you can just change it, you can customize it, you know, you can lock the taskbar, or if you can show the taskbar settings, we have the taskbar settings off here. So if you can see, lock the taskbar, if I lock the taskbar will be here, and if I can want to hide the task, automatically hide the taskbar in desktop mode. If you can see, you know, if I put this, automatically the taskbar will try to disappear. So if until and unless you go down, the taskbar won't appear. So this is a customization that you can do for your interface. So better you don't do it. If at all you want to use your interface in a more advanced level, you can actually do it. So I am locking the taskbar so that it won't go when I just move the cursor apart from the taskbar. And then you have the personalization, that is, you know, the background of the monitor, I mean the interface. Then we have colors that you want to put up, you know, you can just change the tab color, you can just put anything that you want into your interfaces. So once if you click something which is effective, or you know, you can just click here and then minimize it, and then if you can just click here, yes, this is coming absolutely on the color of what we have set. So this is called the customization of the taskbar. So once if you can see here, we have the customization, and then we can also move. We can also, I'm putting back to the settings because I don't want to disturb my screen. So if you can see here, I'll go back, and then I'll go down for you, and then we have some of the internal details in the taskbar. If you can see, taskbar location on screen. So when I want to customize the screen, usually if I am a software engineer, or if I don't want my taskbar to be in the bottom of the computer, what I can just do, I can just go here and I can set my taskbar anywhere I want in the interface. For example, if I want this taskbar to be here in the edge of this side, I'll just go and type left. So now what have happened, the entire windows or the entire if you can see, the taskbar have come towards your left side, which gives you another interface. For example, if I minimize the screen now, so this entire look of the computer have changed, isn't it? The entire look of the interface or the desktop have changed. So this is another way. If you want it towards the right side, you can put it towards your right side. If you want it towards the top of the screen, usually nowadays even I use my personal laptop putting the taskbar on the top of it, because this is where we can see the entire user faces more detailedly than the bottom of the monitor. So if you can see, here is something where it looks like, because it gives you a good look as well, and the customization can be more easier, because you know, by rather putting up your cursor and scrolling it down, it is more easier to come with up, like you know, you minimize here and you go and type it here, because you just have to come all the way diagonally if you minimize something. For example, I have opened the settings. You know why I actually keep the taskbar here? I recommend you to put the taskbar here on the top of the monitor or the top of the interface, because you always have the commands on towards your top of the left side. So, once if I minimize it, it is easier for me to go from here to here, isn't it? It is just the distance of one move. But if the same thing, if I put the taskbar at the bottom of the interface, you have the command systems out here, and if I minimize it, I almost have to go 2 moves, go to down and then open again. So, this is where it gives you a lot of pressure in fact. So, to make it the work more easier, we can actually put our settings on the top, which gives you a good look either. So, we can actually change our desktop, or we can actually customize our desktop by this, and we have multiple this list depending upon your graphics and all. You can actually activate it, and then we have direct question that you can send to MS Windows company directly, and we have make Windows better. If you have any customizations for yourself, or if you want to give a feedback to the people of the Windows company, you can directly give them a feedback. So, this is what the taskbar and the options, and if you can see towards the left side, this is the taskbar settings, and if here we have the background settings, where you can set a different wallpaper, you can put any wallpaper that you want. So, once I put the wallpaper, if I minimize, the wallpaper is almost set. I mean, we have the wallpaper already been set. So, these are the minor important things that you have to remember. If I put like this, I have another wallpaper set on my monitor. So, this is how you actually set the things on your desktop. So, I will get it back to the same desktop that I had. If you can see, this is the old desktop wallpaper that I had, and I have put back to that. So, these are the backgrounds that you can find. I mean, this is the place where you can find the interface and the wallpapers and choose a fit. For example, you have decided to put the second image as the desktop wallpaper. There are wallpapers which actually do not fit your screen because of the resolution that you carry. So, accordingly to your wallpapers, you can customize your wallpaper by filling it, by fitting it, by stretching it, by tiling it, by centering it, by spanning it. So, these are the high resolution wallpapers. Those are being given by the computer, or by already have been given by the interface. So, once you buy the OS, you get these wallpapers as a complimentary gifts, I can say you. So, these are the high resolution wallpapers. If you can see, I am putting this as a wallpaper. So, I have put this as a wallpaper, and if I minimize it, this wallpaper is already been in a high resolution. So, there is no need of me to stretch the wallpaper or put it small or put it large or span it or customize this wallpaper, because this is already a high resolution desktops. Because the Windows they give, it is not only about Windows, it is about every OS. Every OS gives its basic wallpapers, the same as your phone. So, these are the input wallpapers, those are being given by the people of the Windows. So, that is the background. You can also put a solid color. For example, if you can see, if you want to put a solid color, you can, there are few problems where few people might not be comfortable in putting the wallpaper in the screen. You can directly go and put any of the wallpapers as your screen. For example, if I have set orange as my screen, if you minimize, so this is how it looks like. Most of the programmers use a kind of plain backgrounds, if I am not wrong. So, you can also put a solid color as your background. So, this is what again I am back to. So, this is how our desktop was look like. And now, let me take you with the colors. So, I have said you the colors especially define the Windows buttons. For example, if you click here, the interface changes. If you click here, the click changes. If you can see, the interface of the Windows is actually been changing. Or you can just automatically pick an accent color from my background. For example, this if you put this command activated, it simply takes the color which is actually helping this wallpaper or relevant to this wallpaper, it sets the color. For example, if I go to background, change my wallpaper into something else, and then if I come to colors, if you can see, it automatically took this color as the thing. I will show you another example. If I hit this, so this is something where it is gray, and when I come to colors, it obviously takes something which is suitable or which is opposite color of this, because this gives a good look for this wallpaper. So I will customize it back to however it is. These are the colors that we can mention, and you can also have your customized color. And we have transparency effects. That simply means, if you can see, these are the transparent icons. For example, if I change the wallpaper, if I just change the wallpaper, for example, I am putting this as a wallpaper, and if I minimize it, can you see here, if I can see the icon, it's little bit transparent. I mean, it have a glass effect where I can see the background too. If you can see the recycle bin, yes, it is so transparent that I can see the background too. This is called transparency effects. This is how you can actually set this, or you can simply right click and sort by name or size, something which has already been set. So we have the personalization of desktop which I am talking, and in that we have the background setting, the color settings, and the colors we are at the transparency, right. So choose your default app mode, light, dark. I mean, right now our icons are little lighter if I am not wrong, and then we have dark. If you kind of put this, so the entire interface of the computer have changed, isn't it? See, if I put light, we have the white, and if we put dark, we have the black. The entire user interface will change. And again, you have a question that can be asked. This is what about the colors are. Then we have lock screen. So if you want to put the lock screen, or if you are not been using your desktop for a second or for a minute, you can obviously, which we call it as screensavers. This is a kind of lock screen preview available. You have Windows Spotlight, you have picture. These are the pictures. Those are available in the Windows 10. You can use any of the things. And there are so many. You can put anything as a screensavers. So this is what you just have to remember when I speak about the screensavers, something which are being used by those things. So these are the lock screen wallpapers, where literally once your system get locked, you can find this screen and the time on the display. And then we have themes, different kind of themes that you can customize it. If you can see background, sounds, color, mouse cursor, and we have the themes which can be applied, different kinds of themes. The first one is something which we are actually being used, and we have Windows 10. If you click it, the entire theme is going to change. So this is a theme where your icon symbol have changed, your wallpaper have changed, your interface might also get changed, because this is an entire theme. And this is another theme where it gives you by default different kinds of concepts. People usually who wants to stay in peace would put this theme, or people who are so athletic and want to be their interface as a sportive mode, they put this theme. And if something is very professional, they obviously use this Windows theme. So these are the few themes that we already have by default mentioned in the interface of MS Windows. And then we have something called as start. So once to start or something, we have so many options here, isn't it? So if you want to activate the show more tiles on start, that means if you want so many tiles here, for example, I'll click it here, and you can just improve it. See, if you click here, there will be so many tiles. If you can see, you know, there are so many things those are mentioned in the tiles. And then we have show app list on start menu. You know, if you want to app list on the start menu, for example, once you click it, you already have the app list, so you don't need to activate it again. You have must used. So all these are something which are already been activated. That is something where we can show most used apps. For example, I have been using Microsoft Office continuously from last couple of days. So we get the Office here in the default. We have PowerPoint, which is being used by me so many times, so this comes under obviously. I've been using Google Chrome so many times, so Google Chrome obviously comes here, because it automatically takes the most used apps by me and get that into the list of it. Start, and then we have taskbar, which we already have seen it, right? So these are the things, those are mentioned on the desktop. As I have said you just have to, for example, if you don't want this taskbar to be here and you always want to hide the taskbar, you can just unlock the taskbar option and just click this, automatically hide the taskbar in desktop mode. Once you click this, once you activate this, the taskbar itself will disappear from the main screen. For example, if you click here, I think you can't see the taskbar, isn't it? So to see the taskbar again, you just have to scroll down to the taskbar so that it appears. So again, once you move from there, the taskbar disappears. So this is a kind of ghost effect that you have in the interface, because few people won't like the taskbar to be you know, to be having the disturbance mode or to be active in every command that they go for. So these are some of the options that we have. And now let me take you with the more desktop options. That is, if you go here and click a right click, if you go to the desktop and hit a right click, we have view, sort by, refresh, paste, paste shortcut, undo more, graphics properties, graphics options, new, display settings, personalize. So what are these called? The first one is view. If I have to see the view, you know, the view, I mean how exactly you are viewing the desktop, you can also customize that. So if you can see, towards the view we have large icons, medium icons, small icons. So you are not okay with this icon, so you can just put large, where if you have a sight problem, or if you have sight, or if you can't see properly, you have a concave problem, you can just use this. And if you can see here in the desktop, I am viewing it again, and then I'll put it to small icon. So now you have the convex problem. So we haven't done it. So now I'll make it to the medium icons as it was. This is where normal people usually use it. So now let me take you with the view again. So we have large, medium icons, small icons, and then auto arrange icons. This has not been activated. See, when it is not been activated, I'll show you the difference. I can disarrange the applications anywhere on the desktop, but when I go to view, auto arrange icons, they go to the back position. If I even drag, it won't come. If you can see, they won't come, or they won't get dislocated as per my changes. They be in a proper position. So I'll show you the difference once again. View, auto arrange icons, I'm switching this off. So now that is off. If you can see, there is no tick mark here. So I have auto arrange icons switched off right now. If you can see, I can drag those icons anywhere on the desktop. I am putting anywhere I want, which the option is not activated. But now if I activate this, all go into a proper format. So that is what usually we recommend. And then we have align icons to grid. That is what it is as per the grid. Show desktop. Now there might be so many, for example here we have so many applications. So what I'll do, I'll try to put so many applications. All right. So we have so many applications on the desktop right now, and you are getting disturbed every time. So what you are going to do, at one particular point you can go to view, and the last option you have, show desktop icons, and that is tick marked. So if you switch this off, you can't find any desktop icons on the screen. See, this is totally been, there might be so many applications that can be put on the desktop. The entire desktop can be having the application. See, so once I go to view, put the show desktop icons, we have the display icons which are being showed, and now if I switch this off, nothing will be showed. So this is what you just have to remember. And when I hit Control Z, it all goes back into the same thing. So I have put all these into desktop. That in desktop we can find everything mentioned. Okay. So we have the entire desktop that is being occupied. It's not getting gone. So this is a kind of the desktop that we have right now in front of us. So now let me give you the second thing, that is sort by. What is this? For example, again we have all these applications on the desktop, and these are not arranged according to the names or according to the sizes. So what you can say, if you hit the name, sort by the name, these are being sorted by the names, if you can see. Yeah, correct. Then we have size. This is the most biggest file. If you can see, if you put the cursor on top of it, you have a PPT called positive thinking, and you have authors, you have tile positive thinking, and the size is 2.12 MB. All right. So this is the details that you can find once you put the cursor on top of it. So right click, sort by item type, and you have sort by date modified, because if there are so many icons on the desktop, you might not be able to see the desktop icons. For example, if it is very small too, and if like that, if I have the entire desktop occupied by the documents, you really will be not able to find where exactly your document is. So at that particular time, what we will do, we'll literally sort by the item type, or basically date modified is something which you can go forward with. This will help you all the time. This is what you can do. All right. So let me give you another example of refresh. What is the meaning of the refresh? Refresh is nothing but once you hit it, the entire desktop or the entire thing get refreshed. People usually do this many times. I'll tell you, people, hitting it once is similar to hitting it 100 times. So once hitting refresh is enough for your desktop. And then if you want to copy something, for example, I want to copy this into this folder. This folder is empty, and I want to copy all of these. For example, I want to copy all of this to the folder. So I'll hit a right click, and we have copy, and once I open the folder, if I hit, we have paste. So these are entirely pasted over there, right? So this is what you can just remember. This is a PC that we have been using it. And then we have, see, because I have copied it, we have these two options activated. And then we have undo, which I was doing, Control Z, and we have redo move, Control Y. For example, I'll just show you, I'll just give you an example. I have copied all of this here, right? Now I'll type Control Y, I'll hit Control Y. So what have happened? The items have come automatically here. So now I'll undo it, Control Z, it's gone, Control Z, it's gone. So this is what are the basic options that you have to remember in the desktop interface. We have undo move, redo move, and then we have graphic properties and graphic options. If you hit the graphic options, output to, panel fit, hotkeys, tray icon, rotation, balloon notifications, profiles, custom resolutions, all these are really all about the graphic options. So graphic options is something that you have to remember all the time, because without the graphic options you really can't be able to put into your high using of interface. And then we have new, where we have folder, shortcut, office, bitmap image, Baraha document, contact, Microsoft Office, you know, everything, kind of files. If you create a new folder, the folder would be created. You can create anything. If I hit enter and reopen that, the folder you can find is really empty, and then you can add anything. You can paste here, or you know, you can just re-put the new folder again, and you can reopen it. This is what you can do it. If I can see here. And then we have display settings. Again, these two will make you go to directly the settings of what we have already seen. That is, we can increase the brightness. All right. So basically the display is right now 1:2. You can identify it too. Then we have notifications and actions. You can customize this too in power and sleep, in battery, storage. Tablet mode is also active in Windows 10, and you have multitasking, where the screen will be split into two desktops. Or you can put another monitor connected to your CPU, and you can also use that monitor. So this is all a kind of interface that you can find here. Once I hit the personalize button, you will come back to the same background colors, lock screen themes, start and taskbar that we were been into already looking for. So people, this is the basic interface of the Microsoft Windows that we have been looking today. We have more to learn, but not only on one day. So this is about the interface and the basic use and the basic things to remember. See, there might be a question where, how can you hide the icons on your desktop? So you have to go to view, and then you can hide the icon. So that is what you just have to remember. So these are easy to use but tough to remember, because we don't usually remember everything that we do. We know the options, but we literally never do all those. These are the things that you have to remember. So today's class is all about Windows basics. I mean, you know, MS Windows basics and how to use the interface basically. So I just want you to remember and share this video for somebody who really don't know what is a computer and what is an interface. So thank you so much for listening to my class and being patient in my class. So I hope everybody have understood, and I think you will definitely practice on this particular session. So thank you so much, and I am the trainer from APSSDC.